Howdy there, folks. Welcome to the My Thoughts video on The Legend of Zelda. So, The Legend of Zelda, the series itself is essentially a puzzle type game. Yeah, it's more about the puzzles than the fighting, except for this first one, and maybe the following one. I don't remember the second Zelda game all that well, because I haven't played it in over 11 years. But this one's not very puzzle-oriented. There are a couple of puzzles here and there, but for the most part, it's more of defeating swarms and swarms of enemies. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't like that type of gameplay as much as, well, for example, my favorite handheld Legend of Zelda games, the Oracle of Ages and the Oracle of Seasons, which I'll be doing at some point in time, don't worry. But because of the fact that it's more swarming enemies and trying to survive rather than puzzle-oriented, this may be one that a lot of people who have played newer Zelda games won't like, which I can understand. However, though, it is a fantastic, it's a fantastic start game, like, initial game of the series. And the Legend of Zelda series, it's one of the series that's been holding up the best in, I'm not going to say this is the dark age of video games, but there was a pretty steep decline in quality of games, I thought. And the Zelda games held up pretty well. Yeah, I haven't played Skyward Sword yet, but I hear it's pretty awesome. Anyway, though, I'm not going to go into that. My point is that this is a very good startup game to a fantastic series. It is one that I recommend playing. So, about the difficulty. Like I said, this game, it can be very unfair and very mean. I didn't really get to show off just how mean it can be. At some point, I actually want to record me trying to go through Labyrinth 5 and 6 without the blue ring. Yeah, I want to do that. It won't be for a good long while, though, because there's a lot of other stuff I want to do first. But yeah, this game, it does get very mean and unfair, and that's why I say the blue ring is essential, because it makes the game fair. And if you're going to play it, then by all means, have fun. It is a fun game, but it is pretty hard. As is most NES games. Most NES games are pretty difficult and all that, and Zelda's no exception. You want to be ready to get frustrated. Yeah, you're going to get frustrated if you play through this game and you don't know where everything is and whatnot, because that's all part of the game. That's all part of the fun of the game, is getting frustrated and trying to find whatever you can, beating enemies. Some complaints I have, aside from how hard it is the fact that none of the bosses are really that bad, except for that fly boss in the last in Ganon's castle, but at the same time, it's not really a boss, it's more like a mini-boss, and you fight it like 5 times. Actually, I think it's 4. Either way, you fight it plenty of times in there. But aside from that, none of the bosses are really that hard. Not even Ganon's that hard. Yeah, as you saw if you watched the finale. If you didn't, then I recommend watching it. He's not that hard. Yeah, it's frustrating, and if you don't know about the silver arrows, it will screw you over. Yeah, you have to have those, and it will screw you over. Kind of a butt-munchish thing, but it's the final boss. You know, you have to assume there's going to be some kind of a catch to it. And I don't like the whole swarming thing. I've already said this, but I like the puzzling aspect of Zelda games way more than the swarming enemies. Luckily, they kind of tuned this out before too long. But yeah. Another thing that I dislike about this Zelda game, that would be the fact that it doesn't have good guidance. And that's all part of the fun. And that's something that is in every Zelda game, is the fact that it's a little hard to find where you're going to go next and whatnot for the most part. But this one's really bad, and the reason why is because a lot of the hints are in hidden rooms and labyrinths. Those are the hints that tell you where you have to go next. And what's more, a lot of them I don't understand. And I don't think a lot of people understand unless they sit there and really think about it. As you can tell, even from the opening video, where I read essentially what the plot of the game is, it's translated better than Mario Bros. At least I think it is. but it's got some flaws in the dialogue and whatnot. One of my favorite things, and I really didn't talk about this because I wanted to keep it in the aspect of the game, is I love the fact that the witches, if you pick where you have to buy hints, if you pick the wrong one, they tell you, thanks for the money, but I'm not telling you jack shit, loser. I love that, and that's one of my favorite parts of the game, because it makes me laugh so much. Alright, so on the upside, because I've only talked about negative really so far, this game has challenge. It has replayability because there's the second quest that I'm not doing. And it is a fantastic game. So, a little more technical facts about the game. This game was released in the US in 1987, I want to say. It was either 1986 or 1987, but it was released before I was even born. Yes, I was born in 1990. I wasn't born in the 80s. I missed out. But it was released in 1987, and I'm not sure if it's the first RPG-esque game that was ever made or not, but I'm pretty sure it is one of the first. I do believe it came out before Final Fantasy 1, because there's a fun little cameo. Well, maybe not a cameo. A fun little, I guess, knock against the Legend of Zelda in Final Fantasy 1, where when you go to a village of elves, there's a little graveyard, and one of the graves says, I believe, "Here lies Link." Yeah, it's a little knock against the Legend of Zelda, and I love crap like that in video games. But it was released in 1987, as I've said for like the 5th time, sorry. And even if you don't like the actual gameplay of The Legend of Zelda, there is something that everybody has to give credit to it for. It is something that has revolutionized video games throughout the world, even to this day. It revolutionized it so much. My facts aren't 100% accurate. I could be wrong on this, but I am almost 100%, but I'm like 90, 95, 98% positive that The Legend of Zelda, the game we just played, is the first ever video game to have a battery in the cartridge. What that means is it is the video game that invented saving. Yeah, I mean like saving your game, not just your high score. I'm talking saving your actual game. Yeah. And that is something that revolutionized games even to this day. I can't imagine playing any current game and not being able to save. Unless it's a short game and you're not supposed to be able to save. Yeah, I can't imagine what gaming would be like today without saving. So even if you don't like Zelda, even if you don't care for the gameplay, which I can understand, it's frustrating, you have to give it credit for that. This game, I remember it being easier than the sequel, which I'll be playing eventually. I have to actually play it first, because I haven't played it in 11 years. I think I said that already, but yeah. It won't be for a while, so don't count on it for a little while. But I believe it's easier and all that, and only because of the blue ring, because it makes the game clear. I believe this game was released pretty close to the end time of the NES, though. I'm not 100% positive, because the Nintendo Entertainment System, it was out before my time, so I could be mistaken, but I know the Super Nintendo came out 3, maybe 4 years later. Well, maybe that's not that big of a time difference. Maybe it's more in the middle. Yeah, I think it's probably more in the middle now that I think about it a little. Anyway, a big problem with even though it can save, there are only 2 ways to actually save your game. And that is to either die and get a game over, and then you have to choose save. Don't choose retry. Do not choose retry, because it won't save at all. It'll take you back to the start menu, and you'll have to start from the last time you saved. But you have to choose save from there, and that's the way most people probably do it. Or the other way is to utilize a glitch using 2 controllers, which I don't have 2 controllers, so I'm not going to be showing that at all, ever. And I forget what the button combination is. I'm sure it's on GameFAQs, so you might want to look it up, you know, if you choose to. I don't know if you have to use it on the Wii, because that's something that I'll get into in a second here. I don't know if you have to use it on the Wii, but If so, then you use the button combination with the second controller, and then you can save. This is something that is just, it's horribly flawed. It's a horribly flawed way of saving, because you either have to go and kill yourself, which is annoying, because then you start up again with 3 hearts, I believe, and what's more, you start at the very start point of the world map, so you might end up so flippin' far away from where you were. And so yeah, while it did revolutionize video games because of saving, the ability to save your game, it's still flawed, but that's to be expected. It's the first game, or if not the first, then it's one of the first. Okay, so I do actually recommend getting this game. I very strongly recommend it. I'm not 100% positive, but I believe it was released on the Nintendo 3DS Virtual Shop. I don't know how much it costs, but I believe it was released on there, and it is worth getting, especially on a handheld. If you're going to buy this game in this day and age, that is where I recommend getting it. If you're looking for it on a different system, say you don't have a 3DS, because I do know a lot of people who don't, and all that, because they are expensive, and Nintendo's kicking out so many DS systems, and it's like, stop already, or slow down. But if you can't get it there, then another option is that it is on the WiiWare, much like Mario Bros. This is one of the cornerstones of the video gaming world. It's probably the second largest cornerstone of Nintendo. Yeah, this is probably the second most famous video game series of Nintendo. And you can get it on the WiiWare, and I would recommend getting it. This game is so much fun to play, and all that. It's not super long, as I believe I beat it in right around 2 hours, and again, I'm sure people can speedrun it, but I wanted to show everything off. If I were to skip a lot of crap, then yeah, I could probably get this done in an hour. Yeah. But, yeah, get it on the WiiWare or the 3DS. You have to get this game. It's so much fun. I'm not sure if it was released on the Game Boy Advance or not, but I think so. I think it may have been. It was either this one or else A Link to the Past. Either way, though, you want to get this game. I do know for a fact that it was released on I'm not sure if it was an Anniversary Collection edition or not, but it was released on a disc for the Nintendo GameCube. It's probably a lot more expensive than just buying it from the WiiWare, or buying it off of WiiWare. So, it's up to you, but I recommend WiiWare. But yeah, this game is fantastic. It has a ton of replayability. Oh, it's so much fun. So, get it, play it, have fun. Let me know if you like it. If you do like it, please tell me, leave a comment. Alright, so this more or less concludes the My Thoughts video, because I don't really have anything else to say. Even then I repeated stuff I want to say like 5 times in this. I don't mean to do that, it just happens. I said briefly at the end of the finale of The Legend of Zelda that the next game I'm going to be doing is DuckTales. However, though, I did not mention that I'm going to be doing both DuckTales and Pokemon Red. Yeah, I'm going to be playing Pokemon Red version and DuckTales back to back together. And there's going to be an introduction video to Pokemon Red. So you may want to stay tuned for that. If you already know how Pokemon works and you just want to watch the gameplay, then just wait for the first video of it. And DuckTales is probably going to come first, though. Like, the first video is probably going to come first for DuckTales. Anyway, I'm Gene the Pink Panther. These were my thoughts on the game. It is a fantastic game, and I recommend everybody play it. I'm Gene the Pink Panther, as I just said, and I'll see you later.